What is going on, Panther Lair? We are back talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers road loss to the Stanford Cardinal this past Wednesday night, 75-67. Now, I just did a voice overlay detailing Pitt's defensive game plan against Ebuka Okori, why that worked in the first half, not so much in the second half, but I want to isolate some of the turnovers here, specifically Omari Witherspoon's. I think the Panthers would have been able to build a little bit more of a lead in the first half had they not coughed the ball up so much. I also think when it comes specific to Witherspoon that he is a player that I think profiles well as a good point of attack defender. He's got good size, he's got reasonably good instincts with a lot of aggressiveness, and I think that he's going to be able to be that for whatever team he ends up playing on, whether it be Pitt or somebody else in the future. I think he definitely profiles as that. I also think he's a guy that can get downhill against pretty much anybody at the D1 level. He needs to work on his shot selection. He needs to work on his all-in-one drives. I also think that he has a lot of strides he's going to have to make if he's ever to be trusted as the primary initiator and creator. And let's talk about why here, looking at his turnovers. So this first one, actually, this is a pretty good design here from Pitt. They've usually run a guy up here, receives the ball, it looks like it's going to be a high ball screen, but instead they flow into this DHO here by Barry Dunning Jr. He's going to get the ball to Witherspoon, and he's going to come off this extra zoom action with an additional stagger here at the top of the circle, which I really like. Advantage already gained. The problem here is that the sink rate of Cam Corn's defender is going to mirror the roll rate of Corn, and because of that, he's almost never an option. He's also going to get high tagged here by Rowan Cialepa's defender. Now, because of that, when we get to this particular point, trying to force a pass through two defenders, one in Okori who has incredible length for a guard, is not an option. The kickback, kind of like Bub Carrington pass where he used to throw these back, was probably the most available thing right around here and reset with 15 to 16 seconds. As it is, Witherspoon leaves his feet, tries to force this pass. I mean, I assume this is to Corin, but even if it's the Dunning Jr., there's no way this is getting through, and ends up being a turnover. Here we're going to see that same type of decision-making here. He's going to try to go downhill right. Maybe this is available, and I actually like his size and strength against Okori in this matchup, honestly, especially over an elongated drive that this could have been. Instead, he turns back. And you look that Corn's going to set a good screen here. It's going to catch Okori. The problem is Witherspoon is already trying to throw this immediate over-the-top pass, and Corn's still initiating contact. So this isn't going to go anywhere, and ends up being a turnover. Here, we're going to see shades of that again. As this play develops, you're going to see they're going to flow into some two-man game. Good rejection here. So he gets downhill going left. Good kind of rescreen by Corin. But again, he's already auto-programmed to try to throw this pass. And there's really not a window to do so. His dribble is picked up. His defender, Corin's defender, is immediately in his face. The best option here is just to reset with 14 seconds here, excuse me, with Barry Dunning Jr. As it is, he just tries to throw it right through the defender, ends up being a turnover. And then we see here this fourth one. These are probably ones that you're just going to have to live with. This isn't great by no means. This is, him, again, trying to initiate something, not out of a ball screen, but just simply tries to raise and shoot this or pass this with 1 second left. So this is pretty systemic of the Panthers offense. Sometimes they give the ball with almost no time, and then you expect him to do something. So this one really isn't on Witherspoon. But again, I did want to look at all four of his turnovers. As it is, if Okori was aware of the shot clock, maybe because he's able to see it on this end, he knew he was going to have to raise and shoot it, and this ends up being an easy steal for Stanford. So overall, I do think Witherspoon has been a pretty productive player. There are times where he looks really helpful, and there's other times where he looks really lost, and that's pretty systemic for being a freshman. I think, again, can be a really good defender. I think he profiles as being a good point-of-attack defender. He was pretty good in this one on Okori, or at least better than everybody else on the team, but really needs to work on creating out of ball screens, particularly when he's going to pick up his dribble, when passes are available. Those types of reads can all happen with experience. I think that's the upside, as long as he's taking a pretty hard look at some of the decisions that he's making.